Hello ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome from the Cereals 2023 here in the UK. My name is René Brandt and I would like to take you on a small tour here in the Cereals at the stand of LSPB to have a look what is new here from our portfolio. Come with me. Chris!
René,
nice to see you.
You too.
Many thanks that you take a little bit time for us to have a small discussion of what is new here with LSPB. Chris, first question, what is cereals for you? What is the impact? What is special on cereals?
It's just a great opportunity to showcase our genetics to our farmer customers. Most of the time we're trading through distributors and seed suppliers, and actually this gives us the one opportunity to actually showcase our genetics, both new and existing, to the actual farmer themselves.
Okay, Chris, so what can the people now expect from our portfolio? What is new?
Well, what is new? There's lots new. We have 3 new recommended OSR rape varieties, but then we also have new genetics after that. We also have a series of new pea and bean varieties alongside our market-leading varieties such as Lynx.
That's quite a lot. Chris, we shouldn't lose so much time. Have a look into the varieties and let's start with Turing. Turing is also a new variety and a leader in Denmark. What is so special on Turing here in the UK?
Turing is an absolute monster in terms of yield potential. Top of the recommended list for the UK, really good light leaf spot resistance and really vigorous in both the autumn and the spring. It has really strong light leaf spot but also very strong performance in instances of verticillium wilt. And we've seen that performance not just here in the UK but also in other parts of Northern Europe.
Exactly. So Turing is also in Denmark in the official farmer union trials with 106% top of the list. So it's really interesting that this variety is so somehow reliable in these 2 different markets. I see also Murray. Can you give us a small speech about Murray and what is special on Murray?
Yeah, well, one of the key attributes about Murray, not just yield, but the disease resistance. So disease resistance is really important for us. We've been talking about stem health for probably 3 or 4 years now since we launched the new foam resistance gene RLMS. Murray features RLMS, follow on from some of our other recommended hybrids, but also this really strong light leaf spot resistance, which I think we'll show in a little while, is a really important factor when making variety choices because it is the most yield robbing disease in the UK.
Yeah, that is something what I can confirm from Germany. We had Murray in the last year in these production technology trials in NPZ in the north of Germany, and even without this turnip yellow virus resistance, but with this light leaf spot resistance, it was here really a leading variety and also very special for these late sowing trials, where it really shows just a very small gap between normal sowing and very ultra late sowing. So definitely, I think it's definitely a good solution for this flea beetle story here.
Yeah, really important because it has such a wide sowing date. You know, if conditions are good and we can get rapeseed in mid to late August, Murray will suit very well. But if planting is delayed because maybe there is no moisture, so we wait for the moisture to combat against the flea beetle, then Murray is a super choice in the late sown slot as well. So people can be confident that if they're buying the variety, they have plenty of time for a sowing window.
So if I understand you well, you would say light leaf spot at the moment more important than turnip yellow virus resistant?
Yeah, I think so. We've seen the differences and the changes in genetics and what traits we think are probably the most important. And at the moment, I think light leaf spot is certainly that. We see at the moment in trials in Scotland where fungicide chemistry is actually getting overcome by light leaf spot. So therefore, variety genetics is becoming more and more important.
You mentioned to me already in the last days that you have a special board for us with some kind of technical information.
Yeah, of course. Come with me. The other great thing about being here at Cereals is to be able to showcase this information to farmers. You know, we'll make this available on the internet and through social media after the show. But I think very sort of an overview of the disease and the life cycle. But I think the most important thing to showcase to people is this graph here. This is sourced from the HDB official trials, over a 4-year. This shows the direct correlation between gross output and sort of treated yield and light leaf spot resistance rating. So here we go with lower yield and lower resistance, and up here we have the highest yield in varieties with the highest resistance. And that is what we see now. We have Turing with very strong light leaf spot, Murray also, and our other variety, Vegas, new for this year. What's also really nice for us is that we have some new genetics featuring this same trait, and the combination of not just that, but other FOMA resistances as well.
So does it mean that we go now also with LSPB in this way of strong multi-resistant packages?
Correct. Really important for us.
I would like to see that.
Okay, please come with me.
Perfect. Do you have already names for these new candidates?
So we have proposed names because they're going through the national listing system. So the two varieties that we'd like to show, and particularly the one with the multi-gene resistance for FOMA, is in NL2, and the proposed name is Maverick, which is just here.
Oh, Maverick, I like. What is here behind this new candidate?
So this variety was the highest yielding variety in National List 1 trials. It is a hybrid bred by our parent company MPZ in conjunction with our colleagues in the UK. And really what we've seen through the selection before this variety entered national list trials was that really robust stem health with the light leaf spot, but also obviously important yield potential. And within the variety we can see these really strong green stems, and this is really important, and as we go through nearer to harvest it means that the plant is still able to assimilate nutrients and water so it can continue to build yield. What this variety features, which will be the first for the UK market, is the combination of RLMS with a new FOMA gene that we were talking about before, but also RLM7. RLM7 has been the major FOMA resistance gene used in genetics from ourselves and other competitors for probably the last decade. And now we're seeing the combination of these two traits to actually give longevity to these resistances. The variety also features turnip yellow's virus resistance, so although we don't have it in our current genetics in Turing and Murray, Vegas, this will be a game changer for me. Similarly with our other new NL2, which we're also really excited about. So we've come from a stage where we've been maybe a little bit off the pace in yield in the UK, and now we see the LSPB, MPZ genetics right back at the top of the game, both in the current official trials, but also in the national list trials. So the second variety to show here is another NL2 called Tenzing, or proposed name Tenzing. This variety, similarly to the Maverick, contains the RLMS gene, no RLM7 gene here as well, but again, like Maverick, really good light leaf spot resistance, and also featuring turnip yellow's virus resistance. So we have 1 and 3 in terms of National List 1 trials, so we have really excitement about harvest for this year to see how these varieties perform. And looking at what we see here, you know, I can't see that we're not going to see the continuation of the strong performance.
What I can add to Chris' explanation for Maverick, we have a new mother line in the background, which is also the platform for many other hybrids leading in the different countries in Europe. So we have here a very new, strong clubroot candidate for the German market. We have several hybrids dominating in Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia. So this new breeding progress, this step forward, was really a game changer, and I'm really excited for Maverick here for the future. For Tenzing, one more additional information to the comments from Chris. We had that last year, you remember, in these nitrogen trials in Germany, and it was really amazing how powerful is this genetic with just 70 kilograms nitrogen in the springtime. It was here somehow on the top of the list, and show here plus 1.5 more tons, more yield in comparison to all the conventional varieties from our portfolio. So really very attractive candidates here for the UK market. Chris, let's go further. Clubroot, I have learned it's still here a big story for the UK market. What is our offer right now, and how is the outlook for the future?
Yeah, Rene, club root is a big problem for the UK, and probably actually getting a bit bigger. Historically, it would be confined to parts of sort of Scotland and just into northern England and across into Shropshire, where we have had lots of brassicas in the rotation in the past. So close rotation. One thing that we've seen is a sort of a build-up of this. If we go back a decade, rape and wheat were grown very much in combination, very close together. So I think it's natural that we've seen a build-up of the fungi in the soil. And I think what we're now seeing is the importance of looking after these genetics. So our current offering, and probably, we can have a look. Come with me. So here, this is the current market leading variety. So Chrome has been in the market probably for 4 or 5 years now. Originally sort of had a mainstay in the Scottish market, which was where most of the club root was seen. And this still remains probably the biggest market for us in the UK. Chrome has a really robust package in terms of light leaf spot and slightly weaker now on Foma. So for the northern market, probably still a very important variety. And the really important thing now is that we bring new genetics, which brings improved stem health, as we were talking before, into what we have to offer. So Chrome, still probably market leader for the next year and maybe even the year after that. But what's really nice is here we can show you the variety which we have a proposed name of Crusoe. So this is also in National List 2, alongside the variety you mentioned before with the same mother line from Maverick, which is called Chromat. Crusoe we selected to showcase here because alongside Chrome for that real northern market where the light leaf spot resistance here is also really strong. So we have really good light leaf spot resistance in Crusoe along with good Foma resistance. So we're continuing to bring this package of genetics to the marketplace. Something else that's really important to say while we're just talking about club root is looking after this genetics. We mentioned it before, so there are important things to factor. We always talk about the 3 R's, which is review, rotate, resist. So the most important thing we feel is to make sure that people are soil testing, they're using club root material in the right place where it's needed, making sure that rotation is as wide as possible, so not growing wheat rape. We would say 5 years is an ideal, and then we use the resistant varieties as a last resort. So it's really important. We want people to be growing oilseed rape in their rotation. They utilise the genetics in the best way. What's really exciting is that we have a new discovery through our shareholder MPZ Innovation, of a new club root resistance trait which we're going to call CRE1. We have a little board with a small information which we can maybe go and have a look at.
Please. I followed a little bit this discussion here in the UK market about this new resistance mentioned CRE1. Quite sensitive story here in the last weeks, or?
Yeah, it has certainly been. I think the one thing that's really important for me is that we actually showcase the fact that this discovery came from our parent MPZ. There's a paper shown on this board which again we'll make available across social media in the time after the show. And this was showcased in a rapeseed congress back in Berlin in 2019, just showcasing this new resistance that's been found. What's really good about this is that we now are able to utilise this genetics to bring into new breeding. So although we can't offer anything today or probably even tomorrow, in the years to come we're continually looking, and with our breeders that is what their game is. They're always looking to make advancements in genetics, find new sources of resistance, because we all know that pathogens overcome resistance over time. And so that is why for me it's really great that we can showcase this as we continue to sort of build the sort of understanding of the LSPB business in the UK and our shareholder in Germany in MPZ.
Yeah, great. Chris, a lot of interesting new developments, new candidates, so there's really something promising here coming from our side for the UK rapeseed farmers. Chris, I think that's it. Thank you very much for your time and all this very valuable information. It was a big pleasure. And for our customers, keep an eye on LSPB. There is really something coming out for this summer. Thank you very much. you.